Welcome back to the Green Kitchen. I'm Amy, and this is my hubby Rick. A lot of you have joined us before, and you have seen Rick do some fantastic recipe demos. I wish you could see the kitchen. There's so many things around here because he's been preparing to do all these
It's a mess.
recipes for you today. Well, it's full of love and ingredients. We are actually having a potluck dinner tomorrow in celebration of Independence Day in the USA. But these recipes can be made any time of the year, and it can be a lot of fun. So for our potluck guests that are watching, you're getting a little sneak preview of what you're going to be eating tomorrow. And I'm really excited. Can you tell me in the chat if you struggle when you go to other people's houses and parties, celebrations, what you should, what you can eat, what you want to eat, and what strategies you use to overcome any obstacles that you might have. And now today we're doing an Independence Day theme, but actually these, like I said, these can be made anytime. So tell me,
Just summertime.
Yeah, summertime, but you could eat
Barbecue.
but you could eat these in the winter too, right?
Anytime.
Anytime is a good time for. Ooh, there's that timer going off. We got lots of things cooking, and Rick's going to tell you what he's going to be making, and I'm going to go back in the studio, and it's going to be fun. So tell me in the chat, what do you like to eat when you have a picnic or?
What do you like to make?
Yeah, or what
and
do you
send
like
us
to
the
make?
recipe.
Oh yeah, maybe Rick might even show the recipe
Yeah,
in a demo
I
in the future.
I would demo it. Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Have fun, Super Cook.
Today we are going to make. I'm going to make something I've never made, but we had a woman who it was She is a fabulous cook. I was going to say was because she's not attending our potlucks anymore. Hello, Carol. Anyway, she made macaroons, and I've always wanted to make them. Never made them. It's supposedly pretty easy. I believe she sent me the recipe. I'm going to deviate a little bit with it, but originally I think it came from Oshi Glows. I think we gave her that cookbook, but I'm not sure. We had a woman named Joanne who gave us a whole bunch of books. She's vegan, raw. She's a fabulous cook as well. She moved away also. Very sad. Anyway, so I'm going to make macaroons for you. And what we need some almond flour. We need some coconut, shredded coconut. And Amy, if you want to turn on that other camera, there you go. So I have the two here.
Ooh.
So we're going to start off with that. So it's like 1.5 cups of, or 1 cup of almond flour, or ground up almonds. I buy it already made, and then the coconut, shredded coconut. Okay. So those are the two main things that you need inside of there, as far as I can tell. And then we need a little bit of cinnamon. It says 1/4 teaspoon. So I'll just sprinkle a little in there. How's that? And then it says that you need, it says 3/8 of a cup of maple syrup. So I need to get my.
Yeah, so now not everybody uses maple syrup. We don't use maple syrup, but that's okay. You can use other sweeteners, and what we like to use is date syrup or
I use date syrup.
right? Yeah.
So, and not all of this comes out. So I'll just take a 1/4 cup and I'll pour it in there, because 3/8 is almost a 1/4. But I have this stuff called Vermont maple balsamic, and it tastes very, very similar to maple syrup. So what I'm going to do is shake it up a little bit, because it says shake very well. And I'm going to pour a little bit of that inside of there to give it that mapley flavor.
Yeah, so there's a lot of places that you can go to get these different kinds of balsamic vinegars that have different flavors. Let me know in the comments if you have a particular flavor of balsamic vinegar. I know that I had California balsamic come on, and they did recipe demos with their vinegars.
Okay, now it calls out for coconut cream. We know hardly ever use coconut. But I'm going to take the cream off the top of this. I put it in the refrigerator for a while, and hopefully it solidified a little bit. I only put it in a couple of hours ago.
I love this can opener, Rick.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. Hopefully it will.
And there are no
Oh,
sharp edges, right?
well, they're all, but not the way that they used to be. So see this? It's solidified. So let's see what we've got as far as that goes. Calls out for a quarter cup, which is just what I used here, which isn't a whole lot. Ooh, look at that.
That's all the fat.
This is, yeah, well, that's the fat.
That's why it's solidified.
That's what makes it delicious.
That's true.
Okay, so
Do you want to move your bowl over so we can see the bowl as you're
yep.
adding the ingredients? Thank you.
So that's about a quarter cup. I'll put a little more in because I like it. Hey, Kate. And then it says vanilla extract. We don't use vanilla extract, but we have vanilla bean powder. But it also calls out for vanilla bean, a quarter teaspoon. So what I'm going to do is put a tablespoon, a quarter teaspoon, and then another teaspoon. So calls out for a teaspoon of vanilla powder, and then a quarter teaspoon of vanilla powder. So there you go. And then you just mix, which shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be. You would think there'd be some kind of water or something inside of there. Let's see. It's supposed to, oh, you know, I think it's the cream from the coconuts that makes it moist. Oh,
And if
look at
any
that.
of you are interested in the vanilla bean powder, I'm going to put a link in the comments because this is the vanilla bean powder that we like to use. And Rick, would you say that if a recipe calls for vanilla, that you would just use
I put in equal parts.
equal parts? So if a recipe called for a teaspoon of vanilla, you would just put in a teaspoon of the vanilla bean powder.
Yeah. That's what I think we looked it up one time and that's what you told me.
Yeah, that's what I remember. I just want to make sure and tell people that are watching in case that they were curious. And if you're watching on Instagram, please go ahead and put a comment because I'm checking on Instagram for comments and I can answer your comments or questions from there. And I'd love to see if you guys can tell me where you are watching from. Type that in the comments if you can.
Well, that coconut cream, it's kind of chunky still. And I imagine it will melt a bit when it gets in there. So this doesn't make a whole lot, but it's going to be, and they're quite dark, which is, I'm used to macaroons being a lot lighter. Maybe it's because of the vanilla powder and then the dates, of course.
Yeah, that's something that you remarked at one time, that because we like to use dates to sweeten, that oftentimes things that you prepare have a brown color to them because of the dates. Where somebody was using something like agave, then it may not be a dark color. But but because of the research that I've seen and the doctors that I've interviewed, they don't recommend using agave. So we stick with the dried fruits. And that's what we've got.
This is the macaroon.
Well, that's going to be so good.
Then it says, get yourself a scooper, an ice cream scooper. Okay. We're going to put it on a baking sheet, which I have right here. Let's see how this works out for us. If the scooper doesn't work, then I'm just going to scoop it. And then it says put them 2 inches apart from each other. Ooh, look at that. Those are big cookies.
Well, that's the way you roll. I don't know if anybody heard this story before, but we Rick made oatmeal cookies, and he also made bean burgers, and he put them in the freezer in a Ziploc bag. And because he likes to make big cookies, our daughter came in, and we always welcome her to take food with her when she goes home. And she
That's
grabbed
funny.
a bag of what she thought was
Hamburgers.
bean burgers,
Hamburgers.
and she took a couple to work, and she wound up having cookies for lunch.
So anyway,
Yep, that was fun.
that's them. So we have eight macaroon things. And then it says put it in the oven for 275 for a half hour. I have the oven at 275.
Well, there he is, putting them in the oven.
That's 15 minutes, and then turn them around and do another 15 minutes.
Wow.
Or 10 minutes. And it says make sure it says keep an eye on them, watch closely during the last 10 to 15 minutes. But they say golden brown. They're already brown. I think they were supposed to be white. Hopefully they'll turn out decent.
Oh, they're going to be delicious.
Anyway, we got a lot of cream left over.
Okay.
We'll have to do something special with that.
Yeah.
Now we're going to make vegan mayonnaise.
Because what are you making with the vegan mayonnaise?
I'm going to make potato salad.
Okay.
And not just potato salad. I'm going to make something else besides potato salad. But let me wash this bowl out a little bit.
This is going to be great because so many people have said that they miss mayonnaise.
No, this is really simple. And this one's made with cashews. So you soak the cashews, which I did.
So tell me in the comments if you have ever made vegan mayonnaise, or if you've missed mayonnaise that's traditionally made with eggs and oil and salt and other ingredients that I don't even know, probably can't
And then we
pronounce.
drain this out.
And maybe you can tell me in the comments if you have had a recipe. So what do we got? Tell us what we have there now.
These are just cashews.
And they're not salted, and they're raw.
They're completely raw. I have the bag somewhere. Anyway, this bowl probably is not large enough. So mayonnaise, then lemon. To keep our lemons frozen, this time I defrosted them. You see that? It says 3 tablespoons. So I think we should put it in a bowl. What do you think, Amy?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Squeeze it in.
I remember Julia Child. I don't know if anybody ever watched Julia Child's cooking show, but she was a long ago cook on TV, and she had said anytime that you're cooking in a frying pan, you should always get a bigger pan than what you think you'll need. And when I cook, I've found that to be true, because you think that it's big enough, and then all of a sudden you're trying not to spill things out. So just go big.
Go big or go home.
Right. I love how the hack that we have of always having fresh lemons on hand, because I wash them and then pat them dry, and then we put them in the freezer. And so you left it out on the counter so that they would be ready. And I'm going to use those lemons, and I'm going to I do have salt in the house, but not for cooking. And I'm going to put salt on the lemon half, and I'm going to scrub down the cutting board with that, because that's a hack to clean a cutting board. So I like when Rick cooks with lemons. It gives me a chance to give an extra scrub to our cutting board.
Okay. I'm going to
Okay.
use the Vitamix. Okay, so I'm going to pour the cashews into the Vitamix.
That Vitamix has been hard at work today
And then
with
it's
lots of things that you've been preparing.
supposed to be 3 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3. There you go.
I was wondering why you were measuring.
Hey, but that's what you do. And then it says a tablespoon. I think this recipe is from Joanne, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. I hope Joanne's watching. She used to live near us and attend our potlucks, and she's a marvelous cook. And there's the
Apple
apple
cider
cider
vinegar.
vinegar. And she gave us this recipe. She's just any recipe she could make it plant-based. She was always up to the challenge, and so this is a wonderful recipe.
Fabulous cook. And then it says 3/4 of a cup of water, which you saved from
The soaking.
the soaking. Correct. Now let me find my cup thing.
So does anybody have plans for Independence Day? This is when we're making this is Independence Day. Tell me what your plans are, if you're planning on going to see any fireworks or having any barbecue picnics or anything.
All righty. And this should turn into mayo.
Isn't that amazing?
When I shut this camera off, I'll move it over.
Okay, hang on a second. I'm just going to take both of your cameras off while you move the camera over.
Okay.
So I didn't see if anybody told us where they're watching from. Tell us in the chat where you're watching from. It would be fun to see. And sometimes we have people from other countries that are watching us too. So Rick's going to be blending up the vegan mayonnaise, and I'm going to be...
How's it look so far?
It's a little shaky, so hang on. Okay, so there you go. Can you see
the
it?
inside?
I can see.
I got to go up higher.
Okay, so he's going to do that, and then I'm going to I don't want to make anybody dizzy when they're watching.
How's that?
Okay, let's see again. Oh, now we can see right down into there.
Yeah, but I'm gonna put the lid on so you won't be able to see it at all.
Yeah, but we can watch
Anyway.
it put the ingredients in.
So,
And
earmuffs.
then Rick is putting in his earmuffs, and I'm going to mute his mic. And while that's going on, you guys can tell me if you miss having mayonnaise, or if you've tried a vegan version of mayonnaise, or if you have a recipe that you like for this. For some people, they like to have mayonnaise in a salad or on a sandwich. So this really comes in handy to have that available. And it's such a simple recipe too. Okay, I'm going to unmute his microphone. So what do you think, Rick?
I think it's a little liquidy.
Uh-huh.
I think if you put it in the refrigerator, it would set up. But for my purposes, it's perfect.
Okay.
Because I'm just going to put it in mayo.
That's true.
I'm just going to put it in with I'm going to taste it though. Let's bring it over here.
Okay.
Okay, you ready? Oh, take me
Yeah.
off. There we go.
Yeah. So we're going to move some cameras around. So tell me, what's your favorite plant-based meal to cook at home? Tell me in the chat what you usually eat to enjoy. And Rick is going to go and do
see the thickness?
Oh, wow. It's not, I thought it was going to be more watery than that.
No, I think that once it goes in the refrigerator, it'll set up nicely.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's taste it. I think I'm going to add a little coconut cream to it.
And that's the thing about this cooking. A lot of people are a little intimidated in the kitchen. And I think that what's important is that you can What will you What's important is that you taste while you cook. And with this lifestyle, because we're not using any animal products, we can definitely taste without having to worry about any contaminants. But taste while you cook, so important. So you think it needs a little sweetness, you said?
Well, that's why I put the coconut cream in there, and I think it made a lot of difference.
Okay.
Anyway, so let's taste it again. That's much better.
Okay. So there
Okay,
you go.
so there's my mayo. But if you don't want, if you don't care whether it's white or not, to put a little sweetness in there, you can throw in a little chunk of banana probably. You can throw in some dates, you know, in order to give it a little sweetness. If you use honey, a little agave, but that's not what we do. Okay, so there you go. That's two of them, and that's what you start with. Now we're gonna make beans.
Beans.
Uh huh. Now what we
Oh,
got on the list next? Beans.
yes, it's Rick's baked beans, actually. This is a favorite. A lot of the people that attend our potluck really enjoy it. I love it. And so many times, baked beans, if you get it out of a can, it's got terrible ingredients in it, plus animal products. So this is a really nice recipe that you created, Rick, because it really has a lot of the flavors that you would expect when you're eating baked beans. This would be something actually that you could take to a potluck dinner or a gathering, and you would definitely be able to. People wouldn't think, "Oh, that's vegan."
Okay, so these are pinto beans and black beans. You can use kidney beans. You can use chickpeas, and I don't drain them. Okay, so that's what I start off with. I'm going to add some chickpeas to them as well, because I like chickpeas. So then take a jar of salsa. Let me open this up real quick. And I use the Newman's. It's the slowest in salt. Then I take a
Yeah, because we are SOS free, and we try not to go with too much salt. Try not to use too much salt. Dr. Furman is who we follow, and he says that you shouldn't have more than 400 milligrams of added salt. So we will look at the amount of sodium that's in a jar like this, and we'll know that we're not adding too much sodium, because per serving, we're not really getting that much. This particular one, it doesn't even say low salt, but when we compared it to the rest of them, it definitely has the lowest amount of sodium in it. So,
and we're going to take a little bit apple cider vinegar. Going to take some mustard. I'm going to use two different kinds of mustard.
and there again, these mustards, we've been looking for different brands and looking at the amount of sodium that they have in them. And these are the brands that we found that had the least amount of sodium. Although there are some mustards that you can get that have no sodium at all, but they're kind of expensive. And since Rick does so much cooking at home and we use mustard a lot for different recipes, it just makes more sense to us to get this one.
I forgot the liquid smoke.
Uh-huh. And then just to let you know that
It-
Oh, is that the liquid smoke? Okay.
How much of this says a tablespoon? Sounds like a lot. Liquid smoke goes a long ways. You can't take it out. That's the thing. But this is a recipe I've used over and over again, so I know it. And then it says basil, garlic. So some onion, garlic, some basil, some cumin. Cumin goes a long ways too. Some table tasty. And some smoked paprika. Where are you? Uh-oh.
And I see that we have some people joining us on Instagram. Welcome. And if you have a question, go ahead and type it in on the Instagram comments. Or if you have a comment that you want to talk about something, go ahead and do that. We're really trying to form a community here. And we love that you are here joining us. And I'll be checking on the Instagram comments as well as the Facebook comments and the YouTube comments, because we are streaming live to all of those platforms today. So exciting to be able to do this with the technology that is around there, that's available to us. And
Okay.
tell me, if you are on a whole food plant-based lifestyle, if you follow this lifestyle, I'd be interested to know. Ooh, my goodness, so many delicious flavors that you've got in there, Rick.
Yes. It's actually quite good. Now I'm going to saute some onions. You don't have
Mm.
to. A lot of people don't like onions. I'm going to saute some onions, and I'm going to add that to this mixture, and then I'll remove some of them and I'll let them cook down inside of a pot for a while. But this is, you can eat this just heating it up the way that it is, because all of these were already cooked. But if you simmer them together and then put them in the refrigerator and let them sit for a day, every day they taste better. Second day tastes better than the first day. Third day tastes better than the second day. It's absolutely amazing. And they freeze well too, but they never last that long.
No, we eat them up pretty quick.
Anyway, so that is basically my recipe for baked beans, except I squashed them a little bit. So then I'll take a masher and I'll mash quite a few of these beans down to give it a more.
And this is all the kind of texture that you like. Some people like a chunky kind of texture. Some people like a smooth kind of texture.
And some people prefer kidney beans. Some people
Yeah.
prefer northern beans. And I've made it with all of them. These are the beans that I had available to me. I think traditionally they use pinto beans, like the stuff inside the cans in the grocery store. So you see how
Yeah.
it's thickening up? Look at that.
Ooh, that's going to be so good. But you don't have to mash it up if you don't want to.
No, but to
Yeah.
me it's
But
somewhat.
this is what you prefer. I love the technique that you have when you rotate the bowl as you're mashing, you know. So you kind of make it like you're a machine there or something.
Well, everybody's job will be taken over soon. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna move this over
Okay.
here.
All right.
You
Yeah,
off?
so I wanted to share with everybody, if you're just joining us, that this is a before and after picture of of well, that's the after picture, I guess. I thought I had the before. But Rick really did very well. He used to weigh over 260 pounds. His cholesterol was high and his blood pressure was high, and he was on all these medications. And that was how he was doing health-wise on these medications. And then once we discovered this lifestyle back in 2012, wow, things really changed for us. And because we discovered that, every bite you take, it's either fighting disease or it's feeding it.
You
And
have the frying pan on?
I am getting that on right now. So let's see. We are going to go to, let's see. Oh, I got to get the right one on. Sorry. There you go.
Okay, now we won't need this much onion, but I'm going to saute this down, and then I'm going to add the onion to the beans.
And if you guys, in case you didn't notice, Rick, this is a stainless steel pan, and he did not put anything in that pan except onions. So there's not any oil in there, and it's going to cook up just nicely.
But I heated the pan up, and it was really hot before I got started.
Mm-hmm.
Now the moisture, can you see the frying pan well?
Yes.
Okay. Now the moisture that comes out of the onion will lubricate the bottom of the pan.
Right, because
And
that's
then
what
it'll
you just
caramelize
need.
it.
You just need some moisture to keep it from sticking. And if by chance you cook like I do and you walk away from it and you don't pay attention and then it starts to stick because you didn't mix it, then you could just take a tablespoon or so of water and find that spot that it's sticking and pour it right on that spot, and it'll deglaze it. It's amazing. It's just an amazing trick.
You,
And go ahead.
you see how the onion's already starting to brown up?
Mm. So tell me in the comments if you cook without oil or if you struggle. Do you struggle to cook without oil? Because Rick can give you some tips if you have some things that you wanted to talk about that happens to you when you try to cook without oil. But this is going to be so good. And now if you don't like onions, that's sometimes I get that question from people. I don't like onions,
People
right?
also have to understand there's many types of onions.
Yes.
There's Vidalia. These are the Vidalia. These are really sweet,
Mhm.
And then you got the sweet onions, which are not as sweet as Vidalia onions, and you got the purple onions, and I mean, there's quite a few different types of onions.
Right. But if for some
So,
reason you don't care for them, or if you have an allergy or some kind of thing going on where you can't have them, I did write a blog on what to do about that. But one of the things that you can use is celery. You can chop up celery and it'll give a nice flavor also. That's what Rick did one time because I think we had somebody that didn't want onions that was a guest, and I think that's what you did at one time.
what's that?
That you use celery instead of the onions?
Yes. It's
And
not the same, but
yeah, but it's still
you
good.
want it. The onion is just for flavor profile. You know, you try and get that sweet, you try to get that sour, you try to get that umami, all inside of a dish. So you layer the different flavor profiles. Do you see that? You can if you can see close. There's actually moisture.
You can bring it up to the camera.
Like that. I don't know if you can see it.
But it's not sticking or burning, and that's what's really great.
And I
And
have it on extra high.
yeah.
Well, okay. The only thing that I forgot to put inside with the baked beans, I try to put some nutritional yeast in there. So I'm gonna put some nutritional yeast inside. And I don't think that I added the chili 9000. So we'll add some chili 9000 to this.
That's one of our favorite spices that we get from Penzi's Spices online, and it's called Chili 9000, and they have different chili powders that they sell, but for somebody shared it with us, I think, one time, and we thought it was so great, and now we have so many friends and relatives that are buying it because they think it's the greatest that they've tried so far. Do any of you Green Warriors like chili powder? Let me know in the comments if you have a favorite. Yeah, and it's interesting how when you add these ingredients, they change the coloring of things too.
Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to remove some of these. Because they're soft now, as you can see.
Yeah.
I mean, I could cook them up some more. I don't want to waste everybody's time.
Well, what's nice about they call it caramelizing the onions, right, Rick?
Yes, they do.
And because it really does bring out that sweet flavor from them rather than them being that oniony kind of flavor. They have a sweeter flavor. And when you're having these baked beans, a lot of times you want that sweet kind of flavor in them. So I think that helps
Hey,
to
I'm going to
have.
show you the macaroons if you want to see the macaroons.
Yeah, I think you should go ahead and let those because we're not going to be the only ones that are going to be eating them. So this way we can make that let that cook down a little bit more so that this way
Well,
when
it's getting to the point where you want to keep a close eye on them. I'm going
okay.
to take them off for a little bit.
Okay.
I'm going to move this camera so you can see the
Do you
macaroons.
think that you should put the lid on it maybe?
No,
Oh,
look.
okay, so Rick's moving
You,
things
see-
around the
you,
kitchen. So we're
you
back.
see the brown on
Hang
the
on a
bottom
second.
of
We're
them?
going to look at the oven now. Now these. So this is the macaroons that are in the oven now. And I noticed how you touched it with your finger, Rick.
Yeah, it's kind of soft, which is kind of good for a macaroon. And I think that when they get, I'm going to give it 5 more minutes. But you see how it's getting a golden edge? I really don't want them to burn. So I'm
Yeah.
going to shut the oven off and I'm going to put the timer on 5 minutes, 6 minutes, and then I'll pull them out after the 6 minutes is up.
Okay. So now he's going to move some cameras around. So I don't want to get you guys dizzy or anything. And then he's going to go back to those onions, I think, right?
Yep, I'm on the onion. Can you see them?
Yeah.
You see how they're browning up?
Wow. This is one of Rick's favorite pans to cook in because usually when he cooks, he batch cooks so that he can have things left over. And like he said, the baked beans really they freeze so well that you can make a big batch and then save them for another time too. Especially if you're having guests over, you want to have some enough that you can serve and enough that there will be some left over. Sometimes people like to take it home with them, and we like to invite them to do that. All right, look at that.
You see how the pan on the bottom is getting brown?
Uh-huh.
Well, as you scrape it, it turns those onions brown. And if you want to, you could throw a little water in there to deglaze it. I'm
Right,
not going to at this time. I think it's not burning, keeping up nicely.
right. And the moisture from the onions as you're mixing it is helping to deglaze and loosen up any of the things that might be sticking.
Correct.
So that's the thing, you as a cook, you have to be attentive sometimes. Some of the recipes, like, especially the ones that I like to make, I have a series on YouTube called, "Hey, I can make that." And they don't require as much tending to, so you don't have to worry about the burning things or so but with this, if you just stand by and mix it, it'll be great, and it's so fragrant, right?
Yes. Okay. I am going to back the camera up a little bit.
Okay, so he's gonna change the camera a little bit. And so those are the onions that he was caramelizing
You
so
see
that
the
he could
pot?
make. Yes. So here's another stainless steel as a pot. No oil in here, and he's just gonna put the ingredients all in there, and he's not gonna worry about that. And that's the nutritional yeast that you had put in?
Correct. I put in nutritional yeast, and I put in some chili powder.
Yeah.
And we'll taste it as we go, but I figure we'll throw in the onions. Now you could cook it right inside of here.
Yeah, but it's better to use a bigger pot. And you can see the bottom of that pan that there isn't anything really burnt on there, so
Not yet, anyway.
it's gonna be easy cleanup for me. I'm the one that cleans.
Okay. See the pot?
Yeah.
Here's our beans.
Now that looks just like baked beans that you would see in a can, except you know what the ingredients are in there, and you know that they're all going to be health promoting ingredients and not deleterious
And
to your
normally I don't put it inside of a pan like this. I just throw it right in the pot and make it all right in the pot. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I did it so you can see more of a visual.
Yeah. Got to get all that out of there.
All that goodness.
Goodness. Don't want to waste any of it. Okay, now you're going to mix in the onions, the caramelized onions in there. Mmm. That's going to be so good. I loved having the stainless steel cooking utensils too. They're so much easier to work with than the plastic ones, and of course, they're better for you because you're not heating up plastic. And so if you have stainless steel pots and pans, then you can not have to worry about scratching them, and you can use the stainless steel spatulas and things like that.
Okay, I'm going to take the macaroons out now.
Oh, macaroons. We're going to go and
the
take a
camera
look.
over to back where we were, okay?
See, yeah, and we're going to see, does anybody like macaroons? And have you tried it with the whole food plant-based version? Let me know in the comments. Okay, so Rick's going to go ahead and check the oven and get them out. It's going to be so good. So we've got a lot of recipes going on today.
Okay, can you see them with the camera?
Yes, we're going to see them now.
How's that?
Okay, we can see them.
All right, so.
Now you could have doubled up that recipe if you wanted to make more.
Yeah, well, this was my first time ever making them.
Yeah.
I didn't know
How many you were going to make, yeah.
And look at that. I think once they cool down, they'll be great.
And for those of you that aren't familiar, this is a silicone mat that he put on there. You could also use parchment paper, but this way, since you're not using oil, they won't stick. As you can see, they came easily.
Well, how many people are we having tomorrow? 8, right?
I think 7.
You and me.
Yeah.
Tom and Laura.
7.
Tom and Kathy, Beverly, and an extra for me.
Yes. Well.
Yeah. That's tomorrow, right?
Yeah, that's tomorrow. What Rick likes to do is there's one of our potluck friends, Tom, and they have a ritual that when we always have some kind of appetizer or hors d'oeuvres at the potluck dinner, but they both have a cookie or some kind of dessert, and they both have it before we even eat anything else. That's what they do. So there'll be an extra one so that this way Tom can have another cookie when it's time for dessert.
Okay, so I'm going to move this out of the way.
Yeah. So
put it inside of the lower oven. Let's not forget it. And I'm going to rebake the.
So what do you think you're going to make next, Rick?
What's on the list?
The undeviled eggs.
Oh, let's make the potato salad, and then
Okay.
we'll get to the other one.
Okay. So next
We
up,
can do them both if you want.
well, next up, Rick is going to make potato salad because what's a barbecue or Fourth of July party or whatever without
Okay,
without potato salad.
so let's go get the potatoes.
Okay. And here's his trusty stainless steel bowl. You know, I used to use plastic bowls, and I'm really trying to get away from plastic as much as possible. And so that's what I did was I retired the plastic bowls that I had, and I have these stainless steel bowls. And because a lot of times you're putting hot foods in them or you're cutting into them, you know, maybe like when Rick was chopping things. So, and I found that the plastic bowls sometimes would stain if I'd put in tomato sauce or something, and if it's stained, then I felt like, how is this getting clean and what is getting into my food if that's getting into the plastic. Are any of you trying to get away from using plastic? Tell me in the comments.
Okay, so I made these in the Instapot. Okay, and what you do is you put a little bit of water in the bottom, put that cage, that little screen in there, and then you put these on top of the screen. They're not sitting in the water. And then you put it in there for these new potatoes go in there for 4 minutes. And they come out, fork, you can stick a fork in there pretty nicely. So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to select the ones that would be the size of an egg because we're going to make them into eggs.
Into Okay, so you're doing the undeviled eggs?
No, right now I'm picking out the ones that would be the decent size for the deviled eggs.
Okay, and
And I'm
then
going
the other
to flip
ones you're
off to
gonna
the
make
side.
into potato salad?
Yeah, the other ones are making it the potato salad.
Okay. I gotta follow his train of thought. He knows what he's doing. He's got a plan.
So each one of these becomes two.
Yeah.
Okay, so just so you're aware. So those are going to be my eggs. So at this point, we're doing potato salad. So I cut these into quarters. You see that? Because I figure that's a nice bite size. And you want it to be, want it to get coated nicely. And you can cut these up and cook them ahead of time. You can boil them. You don't have to make them in an Instant Pot. You don't have to use the new potatoes, but you should use the wax kind of potatoes, the ones that don't turn into mush. These kind of stay pretty solid, which is important when you're making something that where you want it to be chunky. If you don't want it to be chunky, you know, the Russells and the russets and those other things are good. But these golden potatoes, these new potatoes, the red potatoes, they're nice as well. In fact, if you use a mixture of red and white, then you got the red white, you know, which is nice. I didn't even think of that, but I should have, considering the theme that we're having today. And when I made a chocolate cake, which we have online, that I showed you how to cook in the past, right?
Yes, we have that in our recipe book.
Can you
And
show
then,
put the dual camera of me and
yeah,
the
I can do that. Let's see if I can. Get it going.
okay. Either way, I was going to go the other way, where you see the big one is the little one, and the little one
Like
is
this?
yeah. This way, all three of us show. That's good. Okay, why is my oh it's up to temperature? I was wondering. I was saying why is it beeping? What's in there? I kind of forgot.
Yeah, we get so many beeps in our lives and so many notifications. Who knows? All right, so you quartered all those potatoes and now they're going inside of that stainless steel bowl.
Well, I didn't quarter all of them. I quartered most of them. I still have these left. Whoops.
Okay. And that's one of the glass containers that I like to use instead of the plastic. I have these glass containers and they have snap on lids. So you can put those glass containers in the oven, in the microwave, in the refrigerator, in the freezer, and they also make a wonderful serving dish. So they're really versatile, and in this way, you can have a lot of options, but also that I'm not using the plastic because that's what's important to me.
Okay, that'll be a egg. There we go. Now we have this. Then we have the mayonnaise. So I'm going to take some mayonnaise and I'll put it in there. I don't know how much of it to use, so right now we just want to coat it. Okay, so that's got a nice coating on it. Kind of looks like all right, now I had cut up a bunch of celery. I'm going to add some celery in there. All right. That gives it a little bit more color, but once you mix it up, you really won't see all that color. And that stuff will soak for a little bit. Now I take some onion, which is important. I didn't cut this up ahead of time, and I probably should have. I cut all the
Well,
up.
it's nice to see how you cut up an onion.
Okay, well, I peeled it already. And it depends. If you want it chunky, if you want it like long, or if you just want it diced. So if you want it long, that's good. But I like it really thin, and then I don't really like a lot of onion at one time.
Yeah, that's definitely a preference for how you like to have an onion cut
And
up.
also, it depends on the onion that you have, because some onions are bitter, some are sweet. And also, an onion can make or break a dish depending on what you're trying to create with it. So I figure half an onion is going to be enough for this dish. Okay.
Wow, you're a pro. We also have a chopper that we like to use sometimes too.
Yes, I like to use the chopper because then it doesn't make me cry. But for some reason, I didn't have any kind of tears come into my eyes at this point.
That's because you're doing it so fast.
Well, let's just do it all. Because now I'm starting. What is that? A sulfane? What is that called, Amy?
Sulforaphane.
Yeah, the stuff that goes in your eyes.
And that's how powerful onions are to help us with with healing. There's so many properties in all these kinds of fruits and vegetables that they have, and they all play a role in our healthy lifestyle.
Okay, so there you go. That's a start. Now let's see. Let's find my recipe. Do I have a recipe for this stuff?
Well, we're going to hope that you have a recipe, but if not, he'll do it off the top of his head. I know that.
Yes, but I want everybody to be more happy. Didn't I print something off, love?
Yeah, I did. I printed it off for you, actually.
And where did we put it? Oh, wait a second. It's probably on the back side.
Ah, hiding on the back side?
I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to add some chickpeas to this as well, because chickpeas and potato go good. Okay, so a little garlic powder, chopped onion, celery, mayo, dill. I'm going to squirt a little mustard in there, 2 different kinds. As well as this. I'll put a little basil in. I'll put a little onion in. Oh, that's garlic. I'm going to put a little apple cider vinegar in. And then we're going to mix it all up. And then this stuff will taste delicious tomorrow. I mean, it probably tastes pretty decent now, but. And then I'm going to put some dill in there too. Dill weed. Now you can use avocado in place of this mayonnaise. You know, I usually make it with, instead of using a cashew, I'll use a walnut. You want to add tomatoes to it, you could add tomatoes. I mean, the sky's the limit. It's all up to a matter of your taste. But this stuff, it'll sit out for a while and it won't go bad, which is with mayonnaise, it will. And that's it. Okay, that goes off to the side. Next. Should I taste it, Ames?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, let me get a spoon.
Okay. So who doesn't like potato salad, right? If you want to bring something to a picnic or a gathering and you want to have something that you can eat also. What do you think, Rick?
I need more vinegar.
Apple cider vinegar?
Yeah, I think it needs a little more mustard. I think it needs some table tasty too. I believe I forgot the table tasty.
Oh, that's why.
That would be the salt.
Yeah, it's not salt. That's the salt substitute that we like to use.
I think that's going to be excellent now. And just remember, you could always add, you can't take away. So if you add too much spice, you're going to have to dilute it by adding more of something else. But if you don't use enough spice, you could always add more spice, you know? So that makes a big difference in your life.
And you already put in the celery. Did I miss that?
Yes, that was the second
Yeah.
thing I put in.
To me, I think that celery is just an important part of the potato salad. Something that I enjoy when I eat potato salad is having that celery. And also because it sucks up the vegan mayonnaise in it. So to me, that's a important part. And then I don't know if you, I was doing something with the broadcast here. Did you put in dill?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to put in a little dill.
That's another thing that I really think just makes a difference.
Well, especially fresh dill.
Fresh dill, yeah. And it adds a little different coloring in there.
Again, tomorrow this will be better.
Right.
And I'll make it for tomorrow. So
yeah. So we're entertaining tomorrow, and that's why Rick thought this would be a great thing to make today.
Well, Amy had a cancellation, and she was like, "I have a cancellation." I was like, "Okay, I'll cook. I could cook anyway."
Rick's my Superman. He stands in and he does all the cooking around here.
Okay, so I'm going to stir the baked beans a little bit. I don't want them to burn on the bottom.
That's a good idea. I
But I
don't.
have it on very low.
Yeah, we're not watching you do that though, but that's okay.
Do you
Just
want to do
imagine him at the stove
it?
stirring
Here.
the baked beans. Oh, you're
You
gonna
want to
bring.
watch me? Here you
Well,
go.
I don't know. You were narrating, so I
Are you
thought.
there? You ready? Are you
Yeah,
watching?
yeah. Move the camera a little bit more. There you go. That's it. Wow, baked beans. Good old fashioned baked
They
beans.
taste delicious too.
I
I
can
just,
smell it
I
all the
just,
way here.
I just licked them off my fingers.
Ah,
Oops! It
that's
raised
the
it up
fun
too
thing
high.
about being a cook is you get to taste as you're going along.
Well, that's why there's so many cooks that are really big.
Yeah,
You
because
know?
they're having oil and all kinds of hot, calorically dense food. And there's that frying pan, right? From the
Yes.
onions that you cooked without the oil.
Right. And I'm gonna put. I'm gonna. The reason I left them there is because I'm gonna do stuffed mushrooms. I'm not sure if I'm doing it on
Oh,
camera or not, but I'm making stuffed mushrooms.
okay.
I'm bringing you back to wherever you were to make
Yeah.
your.
See, this is great when you're batch cooking because you can make with these particular recipes. He knew that he was going to use these onions for his other recipes, so he just that's why he made so many. Because I was thinking in my head, wow, that's a lot of onions, and now I understand why.
Well,
So,
I was thinking about making that marinara sauce because I was thinking about making the corn dogs or the carrot dogs. So we can make carrot dogs as well. You make them in the
well,
frying pan.
we'll have to probably do that on another
Yeah, I'm
one.
not making them today because
Yeah,
I'm making. I'm going to decorate the cake, and we're not going to have a whole lot of time. I mean, it's already 4 o'clock, so an hours have already passed.
yeah, but we
I
still have
mean,
people hanging in there,
okay.
and
Well, these are the potatoes. Okay, so what I do is I cut the potatoes in half. Okay, and then what I'll do is I'll scoop out the centers. But right now we'll just cut them in half. And I probably won't show all of them being
it
cut and scooped. I'll just show that many so you get the idea. Then I have a special spoon. This spoon has been, the tip has been cut down a little bit. Anyway, hold on just a second. Let me get something here. Okay, so can you see this?
yes.
Check this out. So then I just form a little circle and it scoops out.
Can you hold that up to the camera so and that it's almost like that was the egg and that was the yolk.
That's correct. That's what you're trying to create. You're trying to create that yolk center. See that? So, I mean, I think my father, first time I made these that he was around, uh, he thought they were deviled eggs because they looked just like eggs. And then he ate them, and he liked them. And I was like, yeah, that's because you try and make them. Yeah, try and make them taste like eggs as well. But I don't try anymore. I just try to make them taste good. I don't try to imitate or make that other whatever it was. People are like, oh, you're making lasagna. I say, yeah, it's something like lasagna. It's going to taste good, but it's not necessarily lasagna. Could you bring it to all three of us, Amy?
Yeah, and that's the phases of this lifestyle, I think, is when you first start, oftentimes you're looking for something that tastes like something that you liked and you want to veganize it. And you work hard to make that happen. But then over time, as your taste buds adapt to these new flavors, then you start thinking, well, I don't really miss that anymore. And I just want to experiment with new flavors. And that's what you like to do, and you do a great job when you're doing
Well,
it.
the hardest thing is the color of your products, because a lot of our food winds up looking brown. You
Well, a
know?
lot of the food that people eat have artificial colors in them too.
Yeah.
And we were saying earlier that sometimes it's the food that we eat, it's looking brown because we use uh, balsamic vinegar, we use walnuts, we use date paste, and those things sometimes will make the food turn looking brown. But I just love the way it tastes, and that's the thing.
Okay, so you see how these are all scooped out?
Yeah.
I have more that needs to be scooped out, but we're just going to leave them the way that they are for the time being. Then I have this that's extra that's left over. We're going to use that. But I'm also going to show you a little trick that I do.
Oh, we love tricks. And nothing gets wasted here. And that's something else that I love about the way Rick cooks, because if he rarely throws away any component, because there's usually some way that he can make it taste
You know
good.
what these are?
Mmm.
Sweet potatoes.
Yes, I hear the jingling of our dog Zeus's collar.
He knows sweet
As
potatoes too.
soon as you took that out, he came running, and he's probably right down by your feet.
He is. He's right at my feet. Okay, so I take a half of this one. If I was doing them all, I'd do it all. I take half of
Can you
it.
move
Throw
that bowl over? Yeah, so
Okay,
we can watch you put it in the bowl.
so that's the start of my concoction.
Okay, so this is a different twist, and see, that's how they snap close those containers. They're so wonderful. They seal very nicely and keep everything fresh, and they make a beautiful serving tray as well.
Okay, so now we go back to doing basically the same thing that we just did with the other mixture. You know, we'll put a little table tasty in there to give it a little sweetness. We'll add a little apple cider vinegar. I'll add a little mustard. I'll add some garlic. And then I'll add a little Dijon. Now you could sprinkle in turmeric if you want. A lot of people do. And then because there's so little in here, I'm just going to mash it with a fork.
Yeah, and the turmeric is nice because it gives it that orange kind of flavor, that orange kind of color that a yolk would have.
Right. But the sweet potato is going to do that instead.
Yeah. So this is what you're actually making, right? You're actually making the stuffing that kind of looks like a yolk in a way, and it kind of looks like what a deviled egg filling would look like.
Correct. But it's basically spiced up potato that I'm putting back in the potato. So it's kind
Yeah.
of like a twice baked potato.
These make wonderful appetizers if you're entertaining, or if you just want a kind of finger food, if you're having something happening where people are going to be standing and you're not going to be sitting. If you're going to have some kind of buffet, these are awesome.
Okay. So normally I do a whole lot at a time, and I'll use my mashed potato thing.
Your
I'm trying
potato
to make it
masher, yeah.
I should just do them all. Because
Yeah.
I'm going to do them all anyway. I'm going to have to do
Yeah.
this all over again. Anyway, so you get the gist. It would be creamier, but these will be fine. Then we'll taste it. Make sure it's something that you want to eat. And if it's not the flavor profile I like, do something different. I'm going to add a little lemon to it because we have these. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. Okay. And then we'll take these. Can you see them, Amy?
Yeah. But if you could switch it over, that would be even better. Put the
How's
bowl on
that?
the other side. This way it could be closer to the camera. And then maybe once you fill one up, you can hold it up to the camera so we could actually see what it looks like. Wow. This would be something fun if you had children or grandchildren and you wanted to cook with them. They could help you fill these up. Now, is it something that you could put in a piping?
Yeah, not the way that it's sitting right now because it's so chunky.
Yeah.
But yes,
If you
once it's creamed out, you put it in a piping thing, and then it comes to that has that pretty little swirl to it.
swirl,
Yeah, we've done that before,
yeah,
and it makes it easy to fill these things as well. Anyway, so you get the idea.
yeah. So you'll have that whole tray full of undeviled eggs by the time we're finished.
Well, I'm not gonna have it done by the time we're finished because I'm not making them all right now. I'll make them off camera. But I wanted to show you how I did what I do.
Yeah, but by the time you finish making them afterwards, that we'll have it all filled up there, and it'll be
Oh yeah, the whole
great.
tray will be filled up for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, and then I'll take paprika. Okay. See the paprika?
And that's the smoked paprika?
Yeah, this is smoked. And then you just sprinkle it on top, like they do in the wherever. You see that?
Wow.
Those deviled eggs.
Yep. They're going to be good. I can't wait. We'll
And
probably
it's made
have
with sweet potato and regular potato.
we'll
I mean,
probably have
you
some.
can stuff it with other stuff too, but
Yeah, we'll probably have some today. I don't know if we're going to wait to eat them for tomorrow. We'll have them for tomorrow, but I think that we'll probably wind up eating some of them today because they're so good.
okay. Now what's next, Amy?
Okay, so now we have, I think you're going to be decorating your cake.
Oh yeah. Very good.
Yeah, so Rick, in his recipe ebook, he has the recipe for his chocolate cake, and he's also shown it on some of the broadcasts as well. And but so if you're interested in the ebook that he has, you can always go ahead and go online and order that, and it'll have this recipe and some other recipes as well. I'll put a link to that in the
It's not
comments.
very expensive. It's kind of like donating to Amy's channel.
Well, yeah,
And then you get
yeah,
money.
because we do invest money in this channel to make things good for you guys.
Okay, so what I did was I took the chocolate cake, and then I thought that I would be able to get away with a vanilla type, so I used the macadamia nut for the frosting, but it turned yellow. So I took coconut and I sprinkled it on the top, and I took some macadamia nut, and that gave it a white background. Okay, so that's my sheet cake, which I actually use this container to make the sheet cake in.
You baked it in that glass container.
I baked it in this container. I put a sill mat on the bottom, okay, and then I filled it up, and then the cake came up to puffed up, and then I flipped it over onto this, and this is the bottom of the cake. Man, because the sill mat was there, it just plopped right out.
Yeah.
I mean, I cut the edges out to make sure that they were loose. But bam, okay. So that's the cake. I'm gonna put it off to the side for the time being because we need to get out some
Yeah. So he's going to go ahead and go in the
of the
refrigerator
fancy
and
ingredients that we're gonna
get
be
out.
using.
Yeah.
Blueberries, strawberries, and we need a little bit more icing. So the blueberries I already washed. You need to kind of sort them for the size that you want. I mean, you don't have to, but if you're anal, kind of the way I am, you wanna have them all the same size, or kind of
This
close
is
to the same
this
size.
is quality control.
If you had a little sifter thing, you could sort them out. But you got these really giant ones. Just eat them
Yeah.
while you're sorting. Make sure the stems are off of the ones that you're going to use.
Now, do you think that you could have used frozen blueberries?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You could use frozen. I have frozen, but I decided to use fresh
Yeah, because
because these hold up they hold up so much better. You know, they're
Yeah.
firm. The ones that are in the freezer, they'll go on your cake and then they'll bleed a little bit and they'll get soft on you. That's look how giant that one is. That one's good. These are kind of sweet. I think the ones that are frozen are probably sweeter. At least that's, you know. So I should have been counting these. How many are you supposed to have? 50?
50.
Yeah, well, that's about 50.
Tell me in the comments if you know why he wanted to count them and why I said 50.
Okay, so here's the strawberries. So
And you
we can
also
either,
watch those.
I already washed them.
Yes. Just that people, in case they're worrying about it.
Yeah, so I'm just going to cut the tops off them. Whoops.
That's another thing that our puppy likes is strawberries.
He's jumping on my leg. It's like he smells them.
Yes. And then when he hears the cutting board too, right? When he hears the knife on the cutting board, he'll come.
He knows his food is there. That's
Yeah,
right.
something's going to happen and something's going to be really good.
Something's going to fall on the floor for me.
Yeah, that's what he's hoping for.
Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. Now, you can either cut them in half or in pieces, or you can slice them. How do you want them? You want them like this, diagonally?
I don't know. We have that strawberry slicer too.
Oh, let's do that. That's perfect. Saves me a lot of time.
Yeah. So this is a tool that we use. Actually, we use it for slicing mushrooms.
That's right.
But you
Check
can
this
also
out.
slice strawberries with it.
Take this, put it in here like that, and you just slice it. Wow. So smart, Amy.
Hey, I married you. I'm smart.
Okay. Look at that. We're going to need a few more than that, though. I know it.
Yeah, it does. It really makes fast work of cutting up. I think you can do kiwis in it, and you can also do, like I said, mushrooms. So there's a lot of different.
Come on. Okay. Let's slice these up. Okay, now we're going to take the other thing, put it back here. All right, so we need the square, right? So we need the blueberries first inside that square. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take a little bit of this icing. This was the icing. And I'll try and put it where the stars are supposed to be. I can place it. I could have just placed it right on top of it, but this way the blueberries will stay in place and not roll around.
Oh, that's a good idea.
They rolled off the table and onto the table. Oops. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Okay. Now we do the blueberries. How many do we need?
50.
How many stars across?
Oh, 13.
13 across each row?
No, I think
2,
it's a
4,
total.
6.
I think. Tell me in the
That's
comments.
stripes. That'd be stripes, right?
Yeah, I think it's 13 total.
Yeah, I don't
stripes.
think we're gonna make 13 stripes, and I don't think I'm making 50 stars.
Tell me in the comments if you know how many stripes are in the American flag, and bonus if you know how many are red and how many are
They're just going
white.
to Google it.
That's okay.
I
They can tell us.
would Google it. Oh, you know something? I probably should have put all the little crowns up, facing up. Anyway,
Uh-huh.
what do you think?
Wow.
No?
I
See,
like it.
they're not even the same size. Whatever. Okay. So then we're going to take these and we're going to just put them across like this. What do you think? Are you still there, Amy?
I am. I'm having our puppy Zeus is visiting me, and
Okay,
he
I
was
didn't
trying
hear.
to talk to me. So I
He
thought
probably said, he's probably saying, "I want to go out."
yeah, he probably does. I have treats all scattered all over the house, and our puppy Zeus is actually plant-based. So Rick makes him dehydrated apples, and also he makes him dehydrated sweet potatoes. So we can keep them, and what I do is, let me see if I can. So what I do is I have this little bowl, and it has little pieces of sweet potato and dehydrated apples in there. And whenever he comes into my studio, he wants to have a treat, and I love to give it to him. So let's see if I can see if he doesn't always like to be picked up. Let me see if I can bring him and show.
What do you think? Maybe another quick layer up here.
Yep, he's not ready to come up. Wow, look at that. This is another thing that you could do with kids or grandkids, right? This would be so much fun, decorating a cake like that. And I
Okay.
like it because it's chocolate.
Well, sort of chocolate. It's got cocoa powder in it, but
Yep.
it's actually, what is it actually?
Cacao.
Pineapple. Oh, you know something? I used banana in this. I used plantains.
Oh, yeah, because we made plantains for our class.
What do you think?
Oh, hold that up higher. Whoops.
It's
Just hold
sliding.
it up higher. Yeah. You don't have to tilt it, but just hold, yeah, this way. Move it a little towards you, and move your fingers under it instead of on the edge. Beautiful. Fun, fun, fun. Love it.
Ta-da!
Thank you.
Okay. What did you do? Take a picture?
No,
No.
but I can take one later.
Okay. Now, so we got the cake. We got the deviled eggs. Oh, there they are. Sweet. We got potatoes.
Potato salad. You want to plate that?
Okay. And what? How about a bowl? Say
Yeah, like one of those clear bowls.
clear bowl.
And there's something, I don't know, that's kind of blocking the camera a little bit, but
Where? This?
yeah. And then that.
Okay. Hold on a second.
That's better. Now we can see more things. Okay. So what are you in, I don't know, maybe you can see Zeus, he's on the floor. He's right there. Yep, there he is. Ah. This This is our puppy Zeus.
Hello. Say hi. Okay, go for it.
Okay. Wow, look at all these wonderful foods. Are you inspired to make any of these things, Green Warrior? It's going to be so much fun tomorrow when we serve these up to everybody. So we have right there, we've got the chocolate cake that's decorated with blueberries and strawberries. And we have the baked beans and the potato salad and the undeviled eggs.
That's it.
So yeah, so we have a lot of things, and of course you had the macaroons. So you made a lot of things there, Rick, that we're gonna have at our gathering tomorrow.
Well, I'm gonna make the mushrooms too.
Yes, and you made that one time in one of our other broadcasts where you made stuffed portobello mushrooms. So
Yes. But these will be made with something a little different. They're gonna have a smoky flavor.
oh yeah,
Here's the mushrooms. They're getting ready to be.
oh yeah, those are gonna be great.
And
You
then
already took the stems out.
I got the portobellos on the bottom here.
Ooh, those are serious portobellos.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put up a question that we had somebody tuned in, and this is from Jamie. And Jamie said, "Hi, hi,
Hi.
Jamie. I just found your channel, and your before and afters are beautiful. Thank you. And was there a period of time that you guys did low fat in the beginning of your whole food plant based weight loss journey?" So
We went through quite a few different things.
we went through quite a few iterations. Yeah, absolutely, I would say. And we didn't, when we first came on board, we didn't hear about a low fat version. We, but we heard about a oil free version.
That was
But
we got started before keto was and paleo.
yeah, this
They were
was
there, but they weren't like really popular.
right. This is over a decade ago. But we weren't high fat either. So we did have some nuts and seeds. What you're seeing today that Rick is making, these are like extra special kind of dishes that we don't normally have on a daily basis. This is something that we're making to entertain friends. So all the cashews that Rick put in there, we don't normally eat a lot of cashews, and we do have walnuts, but we have a very limited amount for us.
We eat more omega-3s than omega-6
Right.
as far as nuts.
Yeah.
We eat nuts and seeds in very limited quantities, mainly with our salads.
Yeah.
And then I make ice cream with walnuts and sweet potatoes. You know, so you got the fat from the walnuts and hemp seed.
Mm-hmm. Right. So basically, anywhere from 1 or 2 ounces of nuts and seeds combined in a day. But we're active. I do a lot of exercising, and so I think that if you don't do a lot of exercising, you shouldn't have as many. And if you have a lot of weight to lose, you could consider going that low fat for a while. So it just depends on who you align with. We came to learn about this lifestyle through Dr. Joel Furman, and he recommends nuts and seeds for brain health and heart health. But he doesn't say that you have to eat a lot of them, but he thinks that you should include them in your diet. So I did notice though that if I eat too many of them, it does have an impact on my weight. So for me, I would say that I limit myself on the nuts. And like Rick said, we try to go more with the omega-3s like the walnuts than the ones that have the omega-6s like the cashews. So I hope that answers your question, Jamie. All right. Well, are you done, Rick?
Besides eating?
You're going to eat without me? Going to eat all that food without me? Where are the macaroons?
That's true. Where are the macaroons? Oh,
Yeah.
put them in the lower oven.
Oh, you said don't remember to remind me that I put the macaroons.
Yeah, we made macaroons too. Oh,
Yeah.
yes, and they
There's
did firm up.
they
Look at
did
that.
firm up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, now you're gonna eat a
I'm
macaroon
gonna
too?
break one in half.
Uh,
Oh, look at that. Smells good. Hmm. Hmm.
so that's the extra that you get
Hmm.
to eat for
I may not even share them. What do you mean?
tomorrow.
Hmm.
Well, I'm really so glad that all of you came to watch today. And whether you're doing an Independence Day barbecue or just any day, I think a lot of these recipes can be enjoyed so much. And I hope that this inspired you to maybe try some of these recipes at home and tell us about that in the comments in the future. You can come back to the broadcast and tell us about in the comments if you have made any of these and how they turned out. And please, Green Warrior, please click like to show your appreciation for what Rick shared with us today. He really prepared a lot, and a lot goes on behind the scenes when you're cooking so many recipes at once. And Rick has a wonderful recipe book, and there are about 18 recipes in the book. And we really enjoy these recipes because they're SOS free and they're delicious. And Rick curated this book because he wanted to share the recipes with people like us who want to reduce or eliminate added salt and eliminate oil and unhealthy sweeteners without compromising the taste. So hit that like button and comment uh, about this so that other people who are tuning in will know what your experience was. And I really want to thank you, Rick, for sharing the recipes and your cooking tips with us because it means so much to all of us that you're here and you come on board often, and people really like watching what you're doing.
Look what I did. I broke the cookies into in half, and they're
Ah,
moist enough that they stick together, and you can make little ones.
oh, well,
Look at
there
that.
you go. Now you have more.
Yeah. Now look at this. You take that, and because it's so moist, you can form it
Wow.
into little balls or other little macaroons.
That's a clever idea.
Yeah. And now you got a whole bunch for people, or you can just pop them.
Yeah.
No, pop them.
So, Green Warrior, tell us what you're going to remember from today. Was it a tip that Rick shared with you? Was it a recipe that you think you wanted to try?
Is everything okay?
Oh, I was reading a comment. Jamie said, "Thank you for answering. That makes sense with what I've heard from others in the whole food movement. Some really shun fat, but definitely understand that this is a holiday food and everything looks great." Thank you, Jamie. Thank you so much. That's so kind of you to say that. So I also wanted to thank Jess Task Voice. She always does the promos and she does the countdown. She really helps to share all of this information with all of you so that you know that we're out there. But most of all, I want to thank you, Green Warrior, for joining us today. Your engagement and your support really make these recipe demos and these discussions really very meaningful and impactful. And I really hope that you're feeling inspired to take a closer look at your food choices and make some positive changes for your health and your well-being. Because, every bite that we take, it's an opportunity to nourish our bodies and, like Rick and like me, become the healthiest versions of ourselves. And please stay tuned for more empowering content. Please subscribe to my channel and share our message with others that you think can benefit, because together as Green Warriors, we really can make a meaningful difference in the world. And as a special thank you to all of you, I wanted to tell you that Rick has put together 5 recipes. And if you go onto my website, begreenwithamy.com/join, I will send you those recipes. I'll send them to you one at a time. And it's got a lot of other motivational things in there and some pictures of me doing some exercising. So there's a lot of different fun things there that's available to you. And if you would like, those are free recipes if you don't want to get the recipe book. And of course, I think that we all need to have not just healthy food in our lives, but we need to have community and friendship, and of course the exercise and all the other pillars of health. So in friendship, I would like to invite you to take your right hand and grab your left shoulder, and take your left hand and grab your right shoulder and squeeze, because that's a hug from me to you, Rick.
I'm going to come in now.
Okay, well, that's great. So Rick is going to come in and join me, and you want to help me with my tagline, Rick?
A hug from me to you.
Oh, a hug from me to you. Thank you.
Okay, you ready?
You smell good.
Smell like macaroons.
Yeah. Well, until I see all of you again, remember, be strong, be well, and be green. Bye, everyone. Thank you, Rick, for cooking. You're the best.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Enjoy your food.
Thank you, Green Warriors.
Bye-bye.
It's so nice to see all of you again, and come back really soon, okay? Take care now.
Looking for really tasty recipes that are SOS-free? No sugar, oil, or salt. How can it taste good? Well, if you like flavor, then you'll love this Be Green with Amy recipe ebook. Get your copy today. Click on the link in the show notes. Be strong, be well, and be green.